Hi, everybody. Welcome to chapter 7 of Waking Up in 5D, our little book club. How's everybody doing? Amanda, you were saying that you and Jackie, this chapter scrambled your brains.
Yeah, that she had to take it in two different chunks. I read through it this morning. It's like, oh, this is a chapter I'm going to need to reread again because it was a little dense for me. Just the concepts of time is so different than how I've been programmed. But I also recognize different ways that I've begun to step out of time in the
Hmm.
way that we're programmed to regard it as linear. I It helped about the fan analogy. What do we call it? What is that called? Like the folded fan,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
like an accordion to kind of timeline jump.
Hmm.
And some of the concepts, they were right there. I'm like, yes, get that. And then other ones were scrambling my brain.
Hmm. So, which ones were scrambling your brains,
I
ladies?
Yeah, I didn't take notes. Um, I was going to say I ran out of time. I didn't run out of time. I just didn't prioritize to read this chapter until this very morning,
Hmm.
and I was multitasking. So I don't know, as we go through it, different things will pop out at me. But Jackie, you want to add anything there about what we were talking about, what you were sharing?
The big rambling was there were a couple concepts that I just read through and I was like, okay, like I was telling Amanda, that's a seed. I'm planting a seed. It may get watered, it may come to fruition, it may not. As far as how deep I will understand and potentially be able to use it. But I think it was some of the things that I just took in but wasn't fully able to conceptualize. One, the mass consciousness as part of time, the being able to unplug from the grid,
Uh-huh.
and the actual manipulation of time.
Yeah.
Those were the three that I was like, okay, okay, Maureen, I'm glad this is your path. We'll see if it becomes mine.
Um, the stepping out of time, like not being in that, I unfortunately or fortunately live there all the time. Like that's where I live. I feel like I live in two separate realities. Well, maybe three. Like I'm out of the matrix, and then I have, like, I can step into the matrix, and then sometimes there's a blend of both, but mostly I'm here. Um, Maybe this story will help. So when I was in a relationship with a man who was in the hospitality industry, we owned two bars. And I just kept having the hardest time um, with time because when you own restaurants like that, in his point of view and how he did it, he worked there all the time. Like we were there 24/7. So, and also like my whole life shifted because I had been used to working. I guess I worked Monday through Sunday, especially when I worked retail, but this was different. It was like, we're gonna take time off in the morning, or like it was just different. And so I had to have this whole different aspect of time because we weren't living like everyone else did. So everyone else had their time and their time frame, and then we had ours. And
Mhm.
and he had his own. Like their whole family had their own. I mean, it was called Campbell time. Like people knew that. Right. So everybody would be like, is it your time, like real time or Campbell time? So it was very interesting, but he taught me a lot about time. Like it was just there were no expectations of time, and he'd be late all the time, and he'd be like, "Well, I was on my time." Like, but you said you'd be here at 7 and it's 8:30. Like, what? And he didn't care. There were other things going on too, but anyway. Yeah, so time, I think to some individuals is just relevant to them, and that's how they live. And yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm taught that's disrespectful.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
But then I question now, is it?
Right. I have something about like honoring with that. So, if you have an agreement with someone or something that you're going to be there at this, like, let's say you set a number. I'm going to be there at that number. I think there's an honoring to both parties in that, or at least if that's the expectation and you have to change it, or that's not going to occur to you or for you, then let that party or that individual or that thing know, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
I
something
see
about,
that as keeping the integrity of your word.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there's something about that to me. And, if you're living in 5D, that's how you're functioning that would be like godlike to me,
Mhm.
a God choice,
Being in
right?
integrity.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting. And then collective consciousness time, um, I don't remember a lot about that piece.
Well, Amanda and I were also talking about that because I said, I read this chapter over the weekend, and then this morning I got up and got my cup of coffee and turned on the Today Show. And Amanda said, Yay, collective consciousness time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or like she talked about when you go to a sporting event.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
interesting.
so I started to question, okay, well, what is it within that? What is it where she's saying, don't do that? Especially my cup of coffee. What does that have to do with the rest of the world?
You know what? I
That
think
brings
it's
me joy because she
right.
talks
I
all
was gonna
about the other
say,
thing about finding your joy. I like my cup of coffee.
yeah,
My world stops and I have my cup of coffee and I'm happy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think it's like what brings you joy and what would you like to indulge in? I had a coach one time who said, be hedonistic. Like if you have something that you're just like, this is so yummy and I'm gonna indulge in it, then have that. What if we aren't choosing that at least some of the time that we're here in these bodies, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I refuse to give up my coffee. At this point in time, I liked when she said, don't look at the clock. Like, if you only got 6 hours of sleep, don't tell yourself, oh, I only got 6 hours of sleep. Like, there's another possibility to move into your day around the concept of sleep, even, or how much time you slept. What if that was the perfect amount? And waking up without an alarm, I've been doing that. I broke up with my alarm, any alarm years ago that I knew like this does not work for me. I need to wake up when my body is ready to wake up, and I've designed my life so that that is a possibility every day. Now, what she was saying about not setting a clock for an early flight, I don't know if I would go to that extent. I don't know if I trust myself yet on that level.
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a good quality of sleep. You'd keep waking up and checking the clock.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Again, take what is valuable and applies to you.
yeah,
But
And
I
who
was also
knows?
wondering with like the sporting events or, that many people being plugged into one thing at a time. What else is going on there? What else is she warning about or hinting towards with that?
Well, a couple, like if we're all, so Vadim Zealand talks about it in pendulums. So like everything that exists has its own um sort of like energetic pendulum or engine running, okay? And if we're all focused in buying that energetic pendulum or that time or whatever it is, then we're all giving energy to that. But if we stopped giving energy to that and pulled our focus away and said, okay, we have allowance for that to exist, but we're just not going to put all of our energy. Maybe we'll trickle a little energy of that because we want to have some sort of connection to that over there. We don't want to allow it to see that we're kind of separating from it, if you will. But then, separate from it, knowing that you're the creator, like you're the creation, like your choices can create realities, and what you focus on is what occurs. And so I think she's talking about how we can feed into the engine that's running, or we can, like I said, just kind of separate from it a little bit and say, I can observe it, I can be a part of it, I can see it, but I don't have to be like immersed. It doesn't have to be emerged. I don't have to emerge in it, and it doesn't have to like overcome me and govern me. The other thing that I think she's showing too is if it's a possibility for a group of people like that to create something and have that time, what does she call it? Like a time,
It's a
uh,
grid. She brings in like the wiring of a grid,
yeah. So if
like
that can
with the
happen,
Princess Diana Matrix thing.
yeah, yeah. So if that can happen, then we could probably have a matrix grid around everybody meditating at the same time or praying. And I know that scientists, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, I think, has a recent study about a mass global worldwide meditation where he had a couple of energy devices or something in different areas of the world that he was measuring information from a meditation, like a group meditation or something, a worldwide meditation. And I know for like Reiki, people do that all the time. So there's got to be a balance, right? We live in this polarity where there's like wartime and stuff going on there, and then there's like people healing and praying and asking for different possibilities time.
Yeah, she talks about it on page 133 at the bottom.
Okay.
By unplugging from typical mass consciousness behaviors, you can begin to think for yourself with greater perception. This is huge. It allows you to change the timelines. You change
Hmm.
reality and everything that has occurred in alternate realities. Okay. That's where my brain was starting to get tripped up a little bit. Changing what has occurred in alternate realities. My brain sort of understands it, but then she was talking too later in the chapter about choices and like feeding one possibility, like it's nourishing that timeline, and then you
And then
have
they
to
come back
unhook from
together.
it and then
Yeah,
you
so
collapse. I'm
so
like,
think about it this way.
that's
Think
the
about it
part I
this
need
way.
to reread.
Think about it this way. Like if this is reality, and then when somebody has a thought or a focus or an ask or a manifestation or an actualization or something, then another layer of reality gets created. But there's still that layer in between that exists, but then we have these other layers that exist, right? So there's three realities going on right now. And your reality and all of our realities are different realities. My reality is different than your reality, than Jackie's reality. Like, none of us are ever really going to be able to step in the other person's shoe.
Yeah.
So we have infinite number of realities happening anyway, forever, infinitely, because I have my own reality going on. I'm in like I'm around other realities, and those realities are bumping up against mine. but
Yeah.
nobody's reality is really actually my same reality.
Yeah. It reminds me of the book, The Four Agreements, about
Mhm.
maybe not taking anything personally and not making assumptions because everybody's living in their own dream. Who wrote that book?
Yeah, Don Miguel
John
Luis.
Miguel Louise. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there, and when you think something, like that reality starts to occur somewhere, whether you follow the path to focus on it and move in that direction. But that's happened for me a lot in this lifetime.
Hmm.
So I a long time ago wanted a Jeep and I was thinking about a Jeep for a really long time. That was like years ago though, maybe 20 years ago. And here now it is 2026 and I have a Jeep. I've wanted a Yorkie for many, 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 many years. I started looking at Yorkies and going to breeders and all this stuff in 2015. Now, 11 years later, I have one that came to me like that.
Takes you a long time.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't, though. I mean, I manifested $30,000 with my son in 7 days. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think it depends too, like learning lessons and are you actually ready? And does it take a long time?
Yeah.
Because really, it didn't feel like a long time because I was just living my life, you know? But yeah, sometimes I get that. It does seem like a long time, but
I liked when she was talking about how your future self is like influencing your current self.
yeah,
Like,
if
ooh,
you allow
your
it.
future self is changing your current reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ooh, how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
There was one other thought that came in and I lost it.
Well, again, I think it's when you're asking those questions, when you're asking to manifest things, your future self is involved in helping that actualize.
Mm.
And you could talk to your future self. Have you ever done that? Tapped into your future self?
I try.
Yeah. Have you ever
Mhm.
meditated like that, Amanda? Yeah.
I think we did. Yeah. I think, well, in one of the leadership programs I was a part of years ago, they had us write ourselves a letter and then they held onto it and mailed it to us 6 months later. So we were talking to our future self. And then we did something similar on your manifestation class last fall. Maybe we emailed ourselves. Maybe we were talking to our future selves. I forget the
Yeah.
exercise, but
Yeah.
that was part
I
of the
had like a
meeting.
future self page or something that we filled out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's actually a site now it's called Future Me,
Oh.
and you can send yourself a letter and it sends it to you. You don't have to do
Oh.
anything. You just write it and say a year, 6 months, whatever,
Oh.
and it just automatically sends it to you.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Awesome. I'm gonna do that.
Hmm.
John says, Jackie, that's amazing. Checking it now. You're supposed to be working, John.
He's multitasking. He's collapsing time. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. I've got some questions. Did anybody else have anything that they want to add?
So, one last thing that I just remembered about collapsing timelines and the density of 3D and in 5D, how we're supposed to be like developing our telepathic communication and the quantum entanglement of how we can communicate multidimensionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the more we wake up in 5D, we think it and so it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not, when we put all of our judgments, expectations, and points of view, which we do all the time, time, that slows things down. You're not in allowance then when you're doing that. When you're overthinking and when you're like, this is what needs to get done, and blah, 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 and why isn't it happening, and oh, this, and oh, that, and blah, 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 it slows everything down. We get in our own way.
I have a mini story on that. Go ahead, Jackie.
I was just going to say your whole time. What is a switch word for time?
Let's see if there's one.
I used to
Because it's
know
like
it.
all the time. I
We're
was like, all the
playing.
moments, all the reality. What word can you use instead of
Yeah,
all the time?
Yeah.
change.
All the change
All the change.
is change. No, that's not the word for time.
There is no definition of time in the switch word book,
Oh,
but
I'm gonna look it up.
change
opportunity.
or divine to work miracles to enhance your strengths.
The
Change.
switch word for time includes together to harmonize or sync with time, and reach to manage tasks effectively, or elate can be used to turn a bad timing or setback into a positive outcome. So together, reach. B is useful for staying calm and managing situations efficiently. Swing on is
Swing
used
on.
to increase confidence and focus. So chanting the word together, 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 together works for some of that. Okay,
We've used that a lot.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you put together with other words, it also magnifies the potency of the other words too, then.
Yeah. The master switch word. Now
Hmm.
everybody's going to start noticing in all the advertisement how many times they say together. It's kind of like, oh, there
Mm.
it is. Oh, there it is. They use it all the time. All the
All
time.
the time.
I know how many words, how many times we said time in this freaking,
I don't know. You have the recording.
Time,
You
time,
can
time,
pull
time,
up the
time.
transcript and
it could be a drinking game.
mm.
I'll drink
And
my
maybe
water.
then by the
Yeah,
end
same.
we'd be able to fully understand the book.
So, my mini story, real quick. I was wrestling the past couple of days that a certain project, I was hitting what my brain felt like was a roadblock, not a roadblock, a speed bump. Let's call it a speed bump. And something had happened that was unexpected. It went against my expectations. And I was, what is it called? Like, not multi-focused, mono-focused in this is how we're going to get it fixed. But that felt really crunchy and that wasn't working either. So I went to bed last night, releasing my frustration and asking God, saying, I'm just going to release this. And I believe there's a different possibility that is not quite in my awareness yet, but it's coming to me with ease and grace. And I let it go. I'm like, there's another solution that I haven't put my finger on, but it's close. It's there. And I'm calling it in. I'm collapsing this timeline. So I slept, I let it go, no stress. Woke up to a message on my phone, and there was a completely different solution already happening with me doing nothing,
Awesome.
taken care of,
Awesome.
without me having to try to fit what is a square peg in a round hole. For
Yeah, so that's what she talks about on page 140. So what's happening with time is that in 5D you are observing yourself before you're actually taking action in 3D. Like you were observing too, then you got out of like having to take action and do something about it to I'm just gonna sit back and observe because you said I feel like I don't have enough information or something like that. You were like, there's got to be a different possibility. I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna sit back and observe. and not have it affect you, right? I think
Yeah.
that's part of it. Like when it
Yeah,
starts to get crunchy and affect you, I think that slows it down too. Our emotions and
absolutely.
feelings, I think, slow things way down.
Yeah, it unlocked the tension in my body so that I could actually fall asleep because it felt physically different in my body. Like there
Yeah.
was no, I released the stress of it, which felt good
Yeah.
because it had been bothering me and I had been mulling over it for like 72 hours. So I do have a hard cutoff at 2, just
I have to hop off a little early today to prep.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Well, I mean, there is no rule that says we have to be on here the whole time. We can make it up, right?
yeah,
If we're done, we're done. Um,
the Lords of Time. I've never heard about the Lords of Time.
well, maybe you should tap into them. I call upon the Lords of Time.
Oof. The time matrix is woven into your DNA, and therefore unhooking is a way of being rather than a choice of being. Do you get that, Rebecca? What are they saying there?
Yeah,
What's the
because I
difference
don't,
between a way of being rather than a choice of being?
yeah, where does she say that?
Page 141 under what is the time matrix? This means you can choose.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I live. Like, I feel that physically. Like, I feel disconnected from the matrix of time here physically. Like, I never set my alarm really either. And if I have to do a flight, I usually do because I don't know, that I usually wake up in time anyway, right before my alarm, but I just, to honor that myself, I set an alarm. But, um, when you disconnect from time so much, like, what if you didn't eat? I don't eat like, I don't have to get up and have coffee and think that I have to have breakfast because it's breakfast time. Or I just do whatever throughout the day. My work schedule is just fluid. Like I have a list and I have things that I know I need to do, but I could be sitting here at 9 o'clock at night finishing a newsletter or a piece of marketing or something that I have to do for my business. Like I have
Yeah.
to honor my clients' times, like I appreciate time sometimes because then they schedule a session, right? And that's the agreed time that we're going to do that. So I hold those sacred, but otherwise, like I'm not looking at my clock. Are you?
Mm-mm.
No. So it may not make sense to you because you already do it. Like you
I
don't live
do.
your life like everybody else.
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's not how you would describe it, but I think you probably pretty much already do it.
Yeah, I definitely flow through my day
Yeah.
and keep my appointments. I do honor my appointments.
Right.
I still can sometimes get hooked into the being late. She talked about that a little bit, about being late and collapsing the timeline and stop looking at the clock.
Well, that's just because you're addicted to anxiety.
Ah, I'm caring. I accept that. I acknowledge that. Oh my gosh, it's snowing.
Oh no.
No! What? It's August 20th and it's
April,
snowing.
April 20th.
I say that
Are you ready for August?
quite a bit. Yes.
You're
Mm.
already, see, you're already in August, I bet.
Okay.
I bet you're here, and I
Yes.
bet you're like really, whatever's
Oh,
happening in August, you've timeline jumped. Like I've
yeah.
timeline jumped, and I cannot stand my clothes right now because I'm like, I'm not that person anymore and I'm ready for my timeline. Like I'm in two kind of separate realities right now and it's so weird.
I just gave away a ton of polyester.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I'm
strange.
going through a timeline jump of switching over to organic cotton and linen.
Yeah,
Yeah, timeline jumping. It's like all those clothes, interesting how they can feel like old energy, like an old identity,
right. Yeah,
heavy
yeah.
as
So you're
part of our
probably
expression.
you're probably creating your new identity and she's in August already.
Yeah.
But
And what
stay
we were,
here, stay present.
yes. What we were talking about earlier too about Uranus in the first house, about rewriting your identity. And I'm like, sister, let your freak flag fly.
Yeah,
Could be part of it too. Like new wardrobe
yeah,
change
yeah.
as an outer expression, and you can play with that.
Well, that's what part of these frames are
Yeah,
about, you
I
know?
love them.
Thanks.
Cute. And you have angry
Um,
birds on your sweater.
I do have birds, love birds.
Oh, oh, they're lovebirds. That's so funny. It looked like a chicken. Like when I just
They're
saw the top of it,
swans.
it looked like it was a chicken squinting with like a
Oh,
rooster
I
commenting
see.
on the top.
I see, like
Because
this
I
is the
didn't see
face.
the body.
I saw swan.
It's like you have an angry chicken sweater on. It was making me smile.
Okay, so here's a question. When do you feel the most controlled by time?
When there's a deadline or a
Ah,
place, a committed place and time to be.
Okay.
Same.
I do also, I say that, and at the same time, I there's a piece of accountability to that, and I thrive with accountability.
Yeah,
So
cool.
where I still have control and autonomy, and that time is an accountability, I love it.
Yeah.
If I don't have the control and the autonomy and there's anxiety, then I don't like it.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah. When it's your choice to choose it sort of like that, like I'm
Mhm.
choosing this, it's mine, I'm owning it, I'm honoring it, all of that. But when it's not and you have to like go along or do it anyway or yeah, yeah, I get that.
It's
Amanda.
I
funny,
have to hop
Rebecca.
off. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Bye,
Bye,
Jackie. Thank you.
Jackie. Good seeing you. See you next week. It's funny that you were 15 minutes late to the time call. Did you do that on purpose? Rebecca's on
No.
Rebecca's time.
Yeah, no, I was on another call.
Yeah,
I couldn't get out. Um,
it was apropos.
what does running out of time feel like in your body?
Blech. Pressure, stress, anxiety in my head,
Yeah.
running out of time. Ooh, so I start looping.
Heart palpitations,
Running out of
breath, like,
time. Hurry.
yeah,
I get impatient. We were
yeah.
talking about that, how I can flip into impatience.
Hmm. When in your life are you overchecking the clock, schedule, or timeline? I'm doing it right now with my business scaling. Like, I'm like, God damn it, why? I'm just impatient with it. Like, it should be here now. It should be here now. Goofy girl.
I used to do it with crypto.
Yeah.
Should be here now. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Refresh, refresh, refresh. Is it there now? Is it how it now?
Uh,
Come on. And you start to
yeah.
panic.
Yeah.
Like, talk yourself up a wall.
Yeah.
Now I just don't look. I'm like, send and walk away. And then I'm out and about 2 hours later, I get a notification. It is.
There it is. Yeah. What habits keep you plugged into urgency or mass consciousness?
What habits?
Mm-hmm.
I have to think of on that one. Holidays. Around the holidays, I feel much more plugged into mass consciousness. Like we
Mm,
just passed through Easter and yeah, plugging into the celebration of Easter. But it was interesting how this year I felt like I could be a witness more
yeah, I got that from you.
instead of being talked at. I showed up at church and was very present. And it was almost like I was on an adventure. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
what are they going to say next? And being more of an observer and watching myself participate
Yeah.
instead of being so wrapped up in it.
And not be absorbed by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around holidays like Halloween, not so much Halloween, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, July 4th. I definitely plug in more to mass consciousness around those dates.
Yeah. I I have a huge desire to be somewhere for like like holidays, like away from like just put me on a beach. I don't want to know what anybody else is doing. I don't I do not have I do not enjoy tapping into mass consciousness things, and around the holidays, especially Christmas, it's really difficult to not feel it. Like
It's almost like mass unconsciousness because
right.
people are
Right.
going through the motions and, well, this is the tradition and this is just what we do
Yeah.
instead of it being an actual co-creation.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Ugh, I felt that too. Mhm.
Where have you experienced surprising time, spaciousness, or synchronicity? I think we experience that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Most of my life is like that, I think, when I allow it to be, when
Mm,
I'm not worried about time.
yeah. It feels like a more magical way to live.
Yeah. Well, it's 5D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the synchronicities are happening more frequently over these past few weeks. I'm noticing them
Hmm.
and not necessarily w- desiring or reaching for them or worrying about it. They just are happening.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that was synchronistic.
Yeah.
It feels
Same.
good in my body when they're synchronized.
Oh, yes. Because there's so much space. When you don't confine yourself and your life and your energy and everything in time, you're just space.
Yeah, it feels easy and flowy.
Yeah. All right. I want to honor your time because you said you need to go.
I do.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming on today. We'll see you next week for chapter 8. Mwah. Love you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, John. Bye, Alejandra.
Bye. Thank you all for coming on.